Hey, 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 happy Monday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, which I happen to be the Grand Poobah. So welcome back, everybody. It was a holiday week last week, so hopefully everyone enjoyed whatever winter holiday they choose to celebrate, even if they don't celebrate any. Hopefully everybody had a great time. We've got the new year rolling out on Wednesday. So once again, this week's going to be an oddball bit of a schedule. I will talk about that in just a bit, but I do want to welcome everybody aboard because tonight is Monday, December 30th, 2019. It's the last time you'll hear me saying that, the 2019 part. This is episode 416 of The Daily Dope. Of course, I'm Jeff McAleer. I am your host, and I see we've already got people popping up in chat. So let me point out, this is a live stream. So this is the first time you've ever caught this show. Let me point out, it is very, very casual. Mainly talk about tabletop gaming, and that's about it. Sometimes some pop culture stuff as well. But because it's live, there is chat available. It is not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay, but I do pay attention to the chat as best as I can. So, of course, if you'd like to say howdy, or maybe you have a comment or a question, by all means, chime in. I will respond. And of course, if you like the video, give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you do. Don't forget, ring that little bell. It will not only notify you when this stream goes live, within about a minute or so, it'll also tell you when I upload standalone videos, which I have some new ones up. I have my review of Tank Duel from GMT Games. Really good stuff. I have a first look at Chalt, the Gonzo's science fantasy post-apocalyptic supplement, RPG supplement from Corthalis Publishing. So that was released earlier today. So a lot of stuff cooking. I've got a first look and unboxing of Sanctum from Czech Games Edition going to pop later on tonight. In fact, it is already uploaded. It just has not been, rendered and all that other stuff. So anyway, of course, when you're not watching videos here on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com and tell a friend. So, who do we have tonight? We've got Jorge Rodriguez, John Vogel's here, the Madman has arrived, Beat Cafe is in chat, as well as Archangel Ortiz. Says, don't forget to like the video, gang. I'm kidding. I know, it's like, so Archangel is saying, hey, don't forget to like the video, gang. Because it's weird, I've mentioned this a couple times, I'm not going to mention it every show, but we'll have people watching live, who watch live all the time as I try to get something out of the way that's tangling up my mouse. Anyway, they watch all the time, and then I see how many people watched, and then they didn't give a thumbs up that they like the show. And it's like, so why the hell do you watch every day? Anywho, all right. So anyway, so I was gonna say, it's gonna be a little different week this week. So it's not Monday through Friday. Of course, tomorrow's New Year's Eve. I am going to be doing some family game, party game stuff at a New Year's Eve party that I was invited to, which I pretty much go to every year for the past few years. Then on New Year's Day, I will be doing some gaming once again with the gang, including my nephew Cameron and his girlfriend Lexi. So we will be doing that on New Year's Day. Day after New Year's, I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be a show on Friday or not. I think there probably will be a video on Friday. So a video tonight. This will be the last show for 2019. And then I should be back on Friday for the first show of 2020. So pretty sweet. So just checking the chat. Everybody's just saying howdy. Howdy, everybody. So got some cool news today. We're going to jump on into that because there's a new card game. It's coming out in February from Studio H Games. It's a French company. And I've got the dope on Oriflamme. I believe it. Yeah, I think it is Oriflamme. In Oriflamme, the players find themselves, whoa, hold on there, Bob Louie. In Oriflamme, the players find themselves in the middle of a medieval feud over the French royal crown. The king is dead. Long live the king. As in Elvis, or are we talking about Ash? As heads of influential families, the players strive to come to power with cunning and malice, power and strength, virtue and infamy. Their goal? The king's throne. In the tactical card game, hidden cards are played in turn. By tactically uncovering and activating their effects, players can outdo or get them out of the way, because all players have the same goal in mind, to collect the most influence points for their family and thus win the game. This game is for 3 to 5 players. It's for ages 10 and up, plays in around 20 minutes. It is going to carry an MSRP of $19.99 when it does arrive in February. Do want to mention I am sharing a link, basically the web address for Studio H Games, and it's just really a placeholder. So this game company was actually formed, I believe, in September of this year. So it's very, very new. I think, I'm not positive, I think this is actually being released through Asmodee, but I am not positive. But this could be kind of cool. You're sitting there and it's kind of, it seems like you have to kind of program your cards so that they're going to activate in a certain order. And I like games like that. I get a kick out of games like that where you have to think ahead and try to guess what your opponents are doing at the same time. Once again, this is a card game. It's got a pretty small MSRP. It's $19.99. March is going to see the release of a deck building game that is based on one of my all-time favorite animes. Yes, that's right. Coming in March is Cowboy Bebop Space Serenade from Japanime Games. I've got a wee bit of dope about the game. Cowboy Bebop Space Serenade is a competitive deck building game with 2 to 4 players in which you play one of the 4 members of the famous Bebop crew. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to point out, I believe this sell sheet was not originally in English, and it's kind of odd. And I will tell you why. Well, first of all, it says it's a game with 2 to 4 players. Just doesn't sound right. Anyway, getting back to this, each player tries to prove that he is the best. I guess women aren't allowed to play this game. Each player tries to prove that he is the best bounty hunter by getting the most reputation points at the end of the game. To do so, they will have to capture the criminals wanted by the ISSP in a spirit of limited collaboration. During the game, players will be able to buy cards that will allow them to improve their personal deck in order to better manage the resources necessary for their victory. They will also be able to move from planet to planet with gas, or use their special abilities and even those of other players if they have in the same place as them. I swear that is exactly what that says. If they have in the same place as them. Comprende? Clear as mud, right? Game ends when the terrible vicious is captured or has fled. Cowboy Bebop Space Serenade is for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, plays in 30 to 60 minutes, and will carry an MSRP of $49.95 when it lands in March. So I am a huge fan of Cowboy Bebop. It is one of my all-time favorite animes. It's right up there with Planet DS is another of, I want to say that's a Studio bonus anime. That's one of my all-time favorites too. I don't watch tons and tons of anime, but I have seen quite a bit over the years, and I love Cowboy Bebop. Love the music too. Anything with Yoko Kanno doing the music is fantastic. So here's the weird thing about this game. Okay, so first of all, one gets the feeling that, do they not know Cowboy Bebop very well? Because it says you play one of the 4 members of the famous Bebop crew, but you got Ed and Ein. And Ed and Ein are, I guess, considered like one character in this game. In fact, you can kind of tell by the miniature. It's in just in the upper left on the one image that shows all the content, or 2 images that show the content. So that's actually 5 members of the Bebop crew, because Ein isn't just a dog. So I thought that was kind of weird. Plus, then it's like, so each player tries to prove that it's like, okay, all right, no women can apply. Sorry. So Ronald Griffith is here in chat. I believe this is the first time Ronald's popped in to say hello. Says they love the show. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. Appreciate everybody watching. So, hey, when we're done with the news, I'll mention a video. I'm not sure if I'm sure people have caught it, but I don't know if everybody's caught it. They've noticed, but anyway, so this could be cool. I gotta say, it's got miniatures in it. I think the minis look pretty sweet. It's possible those miniatures could make the game worth the $49.95 MSRP alone. So anyway, as I mentioned, this is coming out in March. Also slated for March of 2020 is Chrono Corsairs from Tasty Minstrel Games. Here's the dope. On the cursed shores of Ouroboros Island, a fearsome time storm has wrecked several pirate ships in the desolate harbor. What's worse, you're cursed to live the same day over and over again until the time storm subsides. A la, because I have a hair ball right in my eye, a la Groundhog's Day. At the start of each loop in Chrono Corsairs, players simultaneously select plans to place into their timeline. Then you follow those plans to move your crew around the island. Events happen at the same time in the same place every loop. So as you explore the island, you'll unlock its secrets and learn to avoid its many dangers. At the end of each loop, all the pieces on the board reset as you collect treasure. The blooms must be spent to upgrade your crew, while time gems can be kept from loop to loop. As the time storm's intensity increases over the course of the game, it unlocks new scoring opportunities and produces strange anomalies. When the time storm breaks, when the levee breaks, oh, sorry, something else. The game ends, and the pirate with the most treasure wins. Ka-ching. Chrono Corsairs is for 2 to 5 players, ages 14 and up, plays in 60 to 75 minutes, and will carry an MSRP of $59.95 when it arrives, as I mentioned previously, in March. Do want to mention I am sharing some images here that are actually supposedly prototype from one of the game designers. So otherwise, I would only really have the cover to show you, and it'd be like, okay. So strangely enough, I gotta say, I don't think I have ever played a Tiny Minstrel game. Oh, wait, I take that back. If I remember correctly, and I see Flaming Herons in chat, good to see you, Flaming Heron. If I remember correctly, wasn't the dice placement game Alien? What the hell is it? Alien Frontiers. It's been so long since I played Alien Frontiers. When Alien Frontiers came out, wasn't it originally a Tasty Minstrel game? So if that's the case, I have played one Tasty Minstrel game. And funny enough, when everybody was going nuts about Alien Frontiers, I played it. We reviewed it, Elliot and I, here on the well, I shouldn't say here on the Daily Dope, over on the gaminggang.com. And we thought it was okay. We just did not understand what people were just going bananas about with that game. But still, it was entertaining enough. All right, so let's get into some role-playing game news after I take a sip here. So the Madman says that Chronos Corsairs seems a lot like Time Stories. I don't know. I have not played Time Stories. I know it's funny. People will like mention games and stuff, and I've heard of them or I'm familiar with them. But I haven't played everything that's out there. Nobody has played everything that's out there. Tom Vassell hasn't played everything that's out there. Does not happen. All right, let's jump into some RPG news because arriving on January 13th, lucky 13th, is Fate of Cthulhu from Evil Hat Publishing. Or is it Productions? I think it's Evil Hat. Yeah, it's Evil Hat Productions. Why did I say Publishing? Anyway, I've got the dope. The stars are right for Great Cthulhu's return. It's up to you to make them wrong again. The Great Old Ones reach out from the future and into their past, our present, corrupting the timeline such that events and individuals turn towards the apocalyptic and lead to their inevitable rise. A small and battered resistance effort mounted by time travelers and present-day heroes stands in the way. This does sound really gonzo. You are those one-way travelers from a dark future and their crucial allies from the present day, working together to save the human race from looming apocalypse. Armed with foreknowledge of Judgment Day, you must succeed at a series of vital missions aimed at restoring hope to the future. Can you defeat the vast, unknowable evils of the Great Old Ones before you become a monster yourself? Find out in Fate of Cthulhu. Fate of Cthulhu is a standalone game powered by the Fate core system. You need no other books to play. In this game, you'll find corruption mechanics that show how close your heroes are coming to the monsters they fight and the monstrous abilities they gain. 5 detailed example timelines, plus rules for running them and making your own. A system for tracking key events leading up to the apocalypse that the players change through their actions and choices during play, including support for ripple effects and time paradoxes. Gotta love them time paradoxes. Modifications to Let's grab another quick sip here. Yes, I'm all stressed out. Modifications to stress and concession rules, including support for heroic last stands that sacrifice a character but help turn the timeline toward a better outcome. A rituals and spell system that offers great power at a cost. Hey, with great power comes great responsibility. Treating spells as secrets of arcane elder technology that must be sought out in play. The apocalypse is coming. The end is nigh. It's time to punch it in the face or die trying in Fate of Cthulhu. This 256-page hardcover arrives, as I mentioned, on January 13th. It is going to carry an MSRP of $35. That is an extremely fine price on a 256-page hardcover book. I will take a guess that we should see the PDF arrive on Drive-Thru RPG at about the same time. Taking a stab, it's going to be anywhere from about $18 to $20. That's just my guess. I got to admit, I know some folks don't like Fate, and they give Fate a hard time. And they kind of trash it. And then other people are super into Fate. And I think part of it is the fact, because I don't have a problem with Fate. I've actually reviewed some PDFs from Evil Hat. It's been a while, though. And I don't know. Maybe they didn't like me. I don't know, because, I actually gave them good scores. I liked what they said, what they shared with me. But I think it's, a lot of times it's kind of the genre. Because Fate is more, if you're looking at creating a story, telling a story, really kind of packing in all these different elements, as opposed to being a big combat fest. Fate does not do combat well. Neither did its predecessor, Fudge. But if you are like creating a story or telling stories, I think Fate does a pretty good job with most of the genres that you throw at it. So this could be really cool because this is not your typical, let's rehash Lovecraft for our game system. This is a complete, it's all, of course, it's Lovecraftian, but it is a unique setting in itself. Moving right along, those of you out there who love creating your own fantasy lands and maps and cartography, there's a new bundle of holding. There's actually two that you're probably going to be interested in. I'm going to give you the dope on the first. Campaign Cartography 3 Plus. Mappers, our friends at Pro Fantasy Software have resurrected the April 2018 Campaign Cartographer bundle featuring Campaign Cartographer 3 Plus, the tabletop role-playing hobby's flagship mapping program for Microsoft Windows. Authors, game designers, and thousands of gamers have beautifully mapped the worlds of their imagination with CC3 Plus. Once again, this offer brings you digital downloads of the complete current CC3 Plus program, along with tutorials, style packs, symbol sets, and map collections, all for an unbeatable price. Pro Fantasy's core collection includes the complete DRM-free Campaign Cartographer 3 Plus core program, carries a retail price of $40, and the Tome of Ultimate Mapping, retail price of $20, a 710-page guide with more than 150 megabytes of support files like example maps, symbol catalogs, tutorial files, and templates. You get both of these, a combined $65 retail for, I should say retail value, for just $29.95. It's a 54% discount. If you pay more than this offer's threshold price of $63.14, you'll level up and also get serial numbers redeemable for Pro Fantasy's bonus collection with no less than 14 more CC3 Plus add-ons worth an additional $136. The Dungeon Designer 3 plugin, and more than a dozen style packs, tool sets, and map collections originally released as part of Pro Fantasy's Cartographer Annual Series. The entire offer has a total retail value of $600. What the hell am I looking at here, Jeff? Let's try this again. It's got a total retail value of $201. I'm looking at this 60-some dollar MSRP, and I'm like, no. So the bundle has a value of $201. You can get everything if you pay more than the threshold price of $63.14. I do want to point out your software is hosted on the Pro Fantasy Software site, not on Bundle of Holding or on Drive-Thru RPG. Keep in mind, 10% of your payment after payment gateway fees will be donated to this offer's designated charity, water.org. I have to admit, I think cartography is very cool. I love really, really awesome maps and things like that. I have never taken a shot at actually designing my own maps. Normally when I'm doing anything for a role-playing game, I kind of have flowcharts almost. I have like little arrows connecting boxes saying, okay, well, this is where this is at. Yeah, I don't have time. I don't have time to invest in like creating maps and dungeons and things like that. So pretty cool though, especially if you're into this stuff. That is a pretty good deal. $201 worth of software for like $64. All right, so my final news piece. I think things got quiet in chat. It's kind of weird. It's because Dan's not here tonight. That must be it. Dan from No Enemies Here isn't watching, so things are quiet. Because he usually rouses the rabble out there. Kidding, I'm not saying you guys are rabble. Anyway, fans of old school Dungeons and Dragons may be interested in my final news piece, because there's a new release from Hack and Slash Publishing. I've got the dope on downtime and domains. Do you sometimes wish you didn't have to put in so much effort into engaging your players? Wouldn't it be nice if they couldn't wait to play around in your world? they were pushing you to spend more time in the land you create. Actually, my players already do that. Thank you. That's why I developed, not me, this is the author, developed these downtime procedures over decades of play, and now I can share them with you. What's in it? Systems that motivate players, simple, usable procedures that work, creativity and inspiration for adventure. No longer will your players wonder what their characters should do with all their gold. It includes clear, common sense rules for everything from starting a cult, making sacrifices to gods, to hiring mercenaries and building vehicles and castles. Going to an arena fight? Take seconds to determine the purse, peruse mechanics to handle the arena crowd, pick some ideas for interesting arenas, and select an opponent like the Necrurge, a master of the dark arts of necrology, who raises the bodies of traitors or other criminals after they've been forced to fight in the arena and died. So what's this for? The downtime goals give agency to players and let them build a dynasty. Imagine a group eager to explore your world because they have their own plans. These objective procedures give players tools that fire a desire to dive into your creative world, discover its detailed history, and make their mark on it. It gives your players the tools to make their wildest ideas come to life without breaking your campaign or your suspension of disbelief, all the while driving them to adventure in your world. On Downtime and Domains is filled with tools that work. Build a flying ship, enchant it, or build a wizard's tower and raise fortifications in the surrounding lands, all with simple, scalable rules. This is a book used in every game you run. Your next campaign, the one after that, the one after that. Not one wasted word. All right, so that's patting yourself a little bit on the back too much there. There's probably a wasted word or two. Every page is crammed with content and creativity, no filler. Tools that let players build castles and control land without disassociated mechanics. This is the Stronghold book you've been looking for. The 254-page On Downtime and Domains is available in both print and PDF from Drive-Thru RPG. The PDF does carry an MSRP of $19.99. I do believe that I think the hardcover comes with the PDF. I think the hardcover is, I think it's $34.99. I think, if I remember correctly. I do know this is out in PDF. And as I mentioned, old school Dungeons and Dragons. This is for basic D&D. I believe you can also kind of port it over to, like, say, advanced Dungeons and Dragons, probably first and second edition D&D. Outside of that, this is not a 5th edition supplement. So do want to point that out. So Flaming Huron mentioned that, because I mentioned, oh, wow, I was kind of quiet in chat. Says, no, just absorbing what you're saying. So yes, okay. And then, of course, keeping your players happy, Flaming Huron says, or just not give them stuff or make them constantly lose it. That's right. Because old school has a lot to do with resource management. You know, that kind of reminds me of an old story from way back. I was in grammar school, and I had a friend who was running just regular D&D, just the box set from D&D, and we were running one-on-one, and he would just like give you everything, and it was like that wasn't all that exciting. That was not a very exciting game. Of course, I was running Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. I think I was 11. So, no, maybe. See, okay, so here's the weird thing. Didn't AD&D come out, wasn't it 1979? It was 78, 79? Somebody was telling me, like, oh, no, it came out, this was just the other day, and I should have just looked it up. They're saying, no, AD&D didn't come out until, like, 81. And I'm like, no, I think some of the adventures didn't start popping until after 1980. That you didn't have a lot of published adventures in that, modules, right? But I could have swore it was out by 79. Anyway, because I started high school in 81. And I know I was playing AD&D a couple of years. I'm almost positive it was a couple of years before. It's gotta be. Gotta be a couple of years, at least. Maybe it came out in 78. So the Madman says, I just don't see my players being interested in what their characters do during their downtime. Flaming Heron says there's a 5th edition supplement for it on drive-thru. Maybe. That is possible. Kind of interesting because I know the one that's not for 5th edition is actually one of a bestseller right now. I would have thought 5th edition would be outselling basic D&D. So, who knew? But I thought I'd share a little love for a company I am not familiar with. I'm not familiar with Hack and Slash Publishing. I think they don't even have a website. So, yeah, as far as the downtime, what I tend to do as a game master is just kind of maybe do a little recap, kind of talk with some of the players. Hey, so you know what was going on? Because a lot of times what I'll call Cthulhu, which is what I mainly will run, we may have a couple of years pass between adventures or big chunks of a campaign. And a lot of times I'll kind of just make up stuff to throw in there. Kind of kind of almost like a recap of past year, 6 months, what have you. So anyway, all right. So I was going to mention, I sat down with Todd McFarlane, and on Christmas Eve, was it Christmas Eve or Christmas Day? Because the sound was just a little out of sync between the two of us, and it was very, very difficult to get it synced up for both of us to be in sync. Finally did it, but it took a while. So my interview with Todd McFarlane of Image Comics and McFarlane Toys fame is up. It's almost an hour and 20 minutes. And even after our interview, first of all, Todd and I talked for about 5 minutes before the interview kicked off. And then we talked for about a half hour after the interview. And it's funny, we would have continued talking, but I really had to go to the bathroom. So I was like, got a live show coming up. Got a live show I got to do, which I did. I actually did. So that video is up. So that is up. And so check it out. You might be kind of surprised. Todd McFarlane shows some kind of funny stories that I was really surprised that he shared. So, anyway, so the Madman says that they've got limited game time, so the players would prefer spending it on an actual adventure. I completely agree. I understand. Yeah, gaming, just any kind of gaming, role-playing, board gaming, what have you, it's just not, we don't have the same kind of disposable hours that we used to have. Yeah, of course, we are older, we have other responsibilities than that, but even when I was in my 30s, I had way more time, and people I knew had way more time for gaming. Speaking of gaming, though, I did get to play some yesterday. I played some more Tank Duel. Actually, Cameron's girlfriend, my nephew Cameron, his girlfriend played, and I was the Russians, they were the Germans, and I won. But it was close. It was a pretty close battle. And then we played 1754. So, and neither Cameron nor Lexi had ever played that. And I was the French, and I smoked the British and the colonists like a cheap cigar. We had a blast. Part of it was Cameron was having just terrible dice rolls. He was the colonists. And if you're familiar with the Birth of America series of games, or those mechanics because Vikings isn't Birth of America, but it's same mechanics, you'll know that some of the factions, they'll have like a little skedaddle, little running man symbol on the die, which means one of your units takes off. He kept rolling those I kept saying, oh, they're skedaddling. It's their skedaddle roll. So we had a lot of fun doing that. So over the holidays, once again, I hope everybody had a really, really fun and very, I was going to say healthy, but that's silly. Very relaxing. There we go. Relaxing holiday season so far. So the Madman's mentioning that he got a kick out of the Tank Duel review. Yes, actually, I really like it. I really do like it. It's one of my favorite games of 2019. It took me a while to finally get the review out. But I was going to say, actually, there's two things that I was going to mention. But first thing I'm going to mention, I started talking about it, and then I mentioned the Madman talking about the Tank Duel review. So, tomorrow, there's no show, but I'm going to do my best to have a couple of videos up tomorrow. I will share my favorite games, my favorite tabletop board games of 2019. I'm also going to do a separate video. I'm going to share my favorite role-playing game products of 2019. Now, this does not mean that these are the best. These are not necessarily going to be, everyone else's favorites out there. Interestingly enough, my game of the year, which I don't think I'm going to do a game of the year this year. I'm just going to say these are my favorite games and kind of leave it at that. But last year, I announced that Everdell was my game of the year. I was like the first person to make my game of the year. Then all these other people, I thought people are going to think, yeah, you're nuts, Jeff. Everdell? What are you, crazy? And then it turned out, yeah, a lot of people. So, anyway. So the Madman says, I'm notorious for breaking the rules of averages with my die rolls, single digits. It's not me really. The dice are broken. Yes, that is an aspect that new gamers have to get used to, is sometimes your dice are just cursed. It's just how it's going to be. Just cursed. Anyway, so tonight, as I mentioned, there will also be a video up for Sanctum from Czech Games Edition. And then tomorrow, I've also got Galata Gala, which is an arena game that I did an unboxing for. I finished that video up. I'll probably pop that one up on the 1st. So what I'm basically trying to say is, just because there's not going to be a show until probably Friday, does not mean there's not going to be like new video content on Gaming Gang channel. Also, do want to point out, for those out there who like playing PC games, Epic Game Store is still doing their free games every day. It's like their holiday game sale. I think it ends on New Year's Day. So, and every 24 hours is a brand new game, absolutely free. And I've been sharing those every morning on thegaminggang.com. So, if you have not been visiting thegaminggang.com and you're a PC gamer, or if you don't follow me on Twitter, you're kind of SOL. You've been missing out on a lot of good stuff. Today is Hello Neighbor, which is kind of a bizarre, like, horror stealth game. I have never played it, but it does look kind of cool, and I made sure to get my copy because it's absolutely free. So anyway, over the holiday break, I did binge watch Lost in Space, the 2nd season. Really enjoyed that. Caught some movies that I had missed out on. And so Flaming Heron says, yeah, it's weird. They say 12 days of sales, and it's going over 12 days. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not complaining. I am not complaining. Yeah, because they kicked off on that Thursday. They kicked off on the Thursday, because Thursday is usually when Epic does a free game for the week. And then suddenly it was like everybody, all of a sudden it was a boom. Like every day there was a new free game. So Hubcam 210 is in chat. Good to see you. And yes, a very happy new year to you as well. I'm going to wish everyone happy new year at the end of the show. So anyway, so I enjoyed Lost in Space 2nd season. I enjoyed the movies that I saw. So I started watching The Witcher. And I'm not going to share spoilers or anything like that, but so I'm about halfway through The Witcher. And get ready. If anybody's out there who's like easily offended by an F-bomb, cover your ears. Ready? I'll give you a sec. I'll grab a sip. I'll give you a sec. Cover your ears. Okay. Who the fuck wrote this? It's like, I'm not overly familiar with The Witcher. I think I started playing the first Witcher PC game years ago. For whatever reason, I didn't finish it. It wasn't that I didn't like it. I have never read any of the stories or the novels or anything like that. I have a little bit of an understanding of who The Witcher is or what Witchers are, of course, because did the review for The Witcher RPG from Minstrel Games, right? So, if you're watching this, and it's going to be spoiler free, I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's like 3 time periods that this is all taking place in. And they don't actually explain that to you. It's not like, oh, this is 35 years ago. Okay, now this is right now. This is what's going on right now. Okay, this is 15 years ago. So you're sitting there and it's like jumping around and they introduce characters. Like, I'll give you an example. Once again, no spoilers, but first episode, they start introducing these different characters, and then some of them get killed, and it's like they're reaching for, like, oh wow, you should be emotionally attached to these characters, and it's like, fuck you talking about? I have no idea who these people even are. They just came on screen 10 minutes ago. It's like, I'm like, what the? I mean, it's not horrible, but it's almost like a car crash that you can't look away from, you know? You got that gaper, or what they call it? Yeah, I think it's gaper's block or whatever. When people be driving past an accident and they're all like slowing down to look. It's like a train wreck. So, I mean, the acting is fine. The dialogue's ridiculous. It really is. The dialogue is awful. So I would hope they're not pulling if this dialogue's being pulled directly from the stories and that, it's like, oh, I don't want to go anywhere near this. Now, granted, I understand the books are written in Polish. They've been translated and stuff. So I just crazy. So Fleming Heron says this wasn't a great way to introduce the show. This is basically the short stories rather than the start of the books. That's what I saw. Because I'm sitting there, I'm watching it, and I'm thinking, am I just stupid? Because it's like, so wait a second. So that's not the girl. She looks like but no, it's not. So wait a second. She's dead. How's she around in this episode? So anyway, I did a little Wikipedia. I didn't ruin the stories by seeing what happens in them, but I did see that, yes, that it seems like, because you see a lot of these writers these days, because God forbid anybody write like a self-contained novel, right? Everything's got to be at least a trilogy, sometimes more than that. But a lot of times what they'll do is they'll actually write, a couple of novels, and they're popular. So then they do like a novella. And then they say, okay, well, this is like a prequel. This is book 0.5. You see that a lot. Like, I have talking about guilty pleasures, right? There's a series of books from, I want to say it's Jason Alsbach and Nick Cole. And it's called Galaxy's Edge. It has nothing to do with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. But it is a science fiction series that is heavily influenced by Star Wars. But they kind of do the same thing where they'll jump back and they'll do a story that's completely out of continuity. So I was like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I must be going out of my mind because I'm sitting here, I'm not doing anything else, I'm just watching this, and I'm like, well, wait a second, she's dead. How's he there? She's not a ghost. So So, so Flaming Heron says they write separate stories for the individual characters, flip characters between the stories, and all within the one book. Yeah, I mean, we normally see that in a lot of novels where your point of view will change between characters. Game of Thrones, that series. A Game of Thrones, I should say, the series of books. No, actually, I should say A Song of Ice and Fire. Don't want anybody getting all pissy out there. It's like, that's not the series, Jeff. A Game of Thrones is just the title of the first book. I'm like, okay, all right. So anyway, so I just playing some games, kicking back, having fun. So I've had a nice holiday season so far. Did not receive anything game-wise for Christmas, so which is fine. Although I know Elliot, my best friend Elliot Miller, who I will see probably in the next week or so. Yeah, I'm sure he's got something gaming related for me because that's what I gave him for Christmas was game stuff. So anyway, all right. So just hanging out, chatting, see what's going on. So let's wrap this up. As I mentioned, this is the last show for 2019. I hope everybody out there has a very safe New Year's Eve. If you're going to be out and about, I will be at a party which is in walking distance from my brother's house. So that's where I will be spending the night. So I don't have to drive anyplace. Not only because I'll have a few adult beverages, but I don't want to deal with the amateurs out there on amateur night either. So, but hopefully everybody has a very happy and healthy and safe New Year's. I will be back more than likely on Friday. It's always a good idea to follow the Gaming Gang on Twitter, which is at the Gaming Gang, because I always give you the lowdown on what's going on in the morning, early afternoon. You usually know what news, what companies I'm covering and stuff like that. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, by all means, please do. And do want to say thank you very much. Finally cracked 2,000 subscribers. So, and YouTube's been having a problem with like reporting subscribers correctly. So the numbers have been bouncing all over the place, but over 2,000. So that's pretty cool. Very happy to see that. Be sure to tell a friend or two about the show, about the channel, and see what happens. Who knows? Hey, we know Todd McFarlane watches some of the videos, so I think he watches mainly the wargaming stuff. All right, so as I like to always point out, if you like this video, and probably get a few thumbs down for my babbling on at the end, but if you do like the video, be sure to give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you do. Don't forget, ring that little bell. It'll not only notify you when this stream goes live within about a minute, it'll also tell you when my standalone videos, like my interviews and reviews and unboxings and page throughs and first looks, convention coverage, you name it. I do a lot of different video stuff. Anyway, you will be notified of those as well. And of course, when you are not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Of course, everybody who hung out and watched live tonight, thank you very much. Do really appreciate everybody who pops in. We have a lot of regular viewers, which I appreciate. Of course, I know there are loads of people out there, too, who don't have an opportunity to watch live. They watch on Memorex, as I like to always jokingly say. Hey, I got a soft spot for everybody. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate that. So, yes, thank you, Hubcam210s, saying congratulations on cracking 2,000. Yeah, I know, it's weird. It's taken forever. Like I tell people all the time, this is an acquired taste. So, everybody have a great new year. I will see you in 2020. And of course, until then, happy trails. Whoa, hey. I didn't realize that you were still here. Well, if that's the case, then allow me to share the following information with you that I only have 20 seconds to do. So let's all take a deep breath. So, if you would like to subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel, please click right here. If you want to check out the latest episode of the Daily Dope, click right here. And if you'd like to check out a randomly selected standalone video, by all means, click right here. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and thanks for watching.